Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stack Your Live. I am RJ, and right now I am alone. Matt had an assignment this evening, so it is just me. So we are going to see how long we can be self-sustaining tonight, and see what we want to talk about. So welcome in. I know it usually takes a few minutes to get everybody in here, uh, but please feel free to put some questions in the chat. And we'll see what's going on tonight. Clinton, I see that you're here as always. Hello, sir. So yeah, so it is, like I said, just me tonight. So we'll see what's going on. And I'm just trying to get all of the things that I usually do done because usually I have somebody else talking while I'm doing this stuff. So I hope everybody is well tonight. Hello. Yeah, this is a little bit weird, but yes, RJ is solo tonight because Matt is on assignment, and usually it's Matt and I doing this. So we're going to multitask and see what's done. So whatever you guys want to talk about is pretty much what we're going to talk about tonight because there's just me. So I am here to answer all of your questions, credit card related or not, apparently, because that's what we're doing tonight. It's going to be a little bit of whatever we want to do. I'm also bringing up the football game because I don't even remember who's playing tonight. So this should be fun. We're going to be doing all of the things. Oh, Patriots and Jets. This could be bad for the Jets. So we'll have that on as well. So how is everybody tonight? I know we had a little bit of news on Chase possibly limiting down inks. I know that makes some people very, very nervous. Makes other people very happy it's happening. It makes people feel a lot of feelings. So how is everybody feeling tonight? How are you feeling in your credit card journeys in general? I'm here to see what you guys want to talk about. So please let me know. We have Jets are up right now, which, you know, that is always something when you turn on and you see Jets 7, Patriots nothing. Yes, I am solo podcasting, which is very exciting. Huh. That's interesting. Rupert, is this if you have the Built card or just if you're a member of Built? I am neither. I am in my 30s. What's going on with the ink cards? So I put it in, let me see if I can find the link. I put it in Found Online on Stack Your Points Discord. Go to stackyourpoints.com if you'd like to join. And of course, this is via Frequent Miler. So we'll see. And it's starting out Chase adds lifetime language to no annual fee ink cards. Chase Business Unlimited and especially business cash cards are standards found honored places in many of our wallets, honored because of, things. Um, and basically now you've been able to go through them sort of in that 24 to 48 month period. Now they are changing it. New card member bonuses may not be available to you if you've ever had this card or any other Chase for Business card without an annual fee. So basically, it looks like if you've had an ink card with no annual fee, it is going to not be available for you to get an annual fee. Yes, there are two. One is basically for people who are on cell phones. It's what it's basically made for. And the other is for people who are on more like YouTube. So there's that. So yeah. So I am just doing a little bit of cleanup. Remember, guys, be nice in the chat. Or I'm just gonna like put you in timeout or ban you. Like it's fine. Hi double. So yeah. I think if you have the Built card, book the portal now, I'm not 100% sure. That's fine. So yeah, so we have different things going on. If there's no lifetime language ending cards 5, It may be that they are changing 524 into things more like no lifetime language. We've seen 524 be a little more malleable lately, so it may be that they're working on it a little bit. Um, yeah, there's options. It depends on how you're watching it. If you're watching on like a phone, the vertical can be a lot easier. If you're watching on a TV or a different stream, it's easier to sort of have the full one. Um, and hello. So it really is going to depend on for the ink cards, it seems like they're kind of putting a brake on the ink train. Um, I know in the Discord, Spathco mentioned that like everything feels like a um everything feels like an economic indicator. This one really does because Chase is kind of not promoted, but kind of been okay with the ink train going chugga chugga. And now it seems like uh, this has changed a little bit. So we will see exactly what's happening and go from there. So I'm interested to see exactly how this rolls out. If there is something with a little more teeth to it, if this comes to the annual fee cards, because right now it's only for the 2 no annual fee ink cards. Um, if this becomes something where we see a little bit more movement on, I'm sure we'll cover it on the podcast. Matt will have it. I'm sure he'll have it several times over. So yeah, so ink cards could be changing, which honestly isn't that surprising. Like the companies, I think after the Chase Money hack, after the credit card, the CSR had its launch, that wasn't. Um, it becomes something where you just have to figure out exactly what you want to be, Chase. And I don't know if Chase knows exactly what it's doing. So we'll see. We will see what happens with Chase. If you have any credit card related questions, please put them in the chat so we can go through them and try to get any credit card related items off. Um, so yeah. So we'll see what happens because like I said, man, tonight is an interesting night. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting evening. It's gonna be a very interesting time with Chase. So we'll see. And hello to everybody in the chat. Um, yeah, and definitely like and sub. We're always a fan of that. Um, yeah, like what the CSR is going to do is definitely interesting. Keith, are you volunteering yourself to be the mod for the chat? Because I would appreciate that if you are, sir. Um, because I am multitasking right now. Um, so yeah, we can talk about this. Um, I use cash to do most of my major travel. Um, just how I tend to travel. Um, and then I'll take those points. And if there is a specific redemption I have in mind, that's when I start using those points. My family is going to DC next year, next spring, roughly. And what we want to do is we're using my IHG points. I had a huge, massive pool of IHG points. So for that week, we're doing an intercontinental in DC. That's incredibly expensive if we were to pay for it out of pocket. But what I can do is I can use points for that. And then a bunch of the little stays I would have done, 1 or 2 nights somewhere else where I can afford to do the cash. I do the cash, get the points, and then go from there. So I am very targeted with how I use points. I have a huge pile of Hilton points that I need to get through. So we're going for that. Um, so yeah, so I am somebody who I use points, but I definitely make sure that my way of using points benefits me the most in how I do things, and that is not just using points for everything. Um, so there's that. And guys, don't be dicks. I'm just gonna remove you. Like, it's just what is gonna happen. Um, so yeah. So anywho, I have not been to the Sky Club in Salt Lake. I have been to the one at LaGuardia. And I am definitely looking forward to going to Salt Lake if I ever go through that way. It is not something where I uh thank you, Keith. I appreciate you. It is not something where I often go out to Salt Lake. So it would be something I would not typically go to, but if I was ever out in Salt Lake, I would absolutely check out the Sky Club. I've heard great things about it. So there's that. And yeah, people just don't be jackasses. That's all I'm saying. Let's see here. I'm just cleaning up some stuff, guys. Bear with me. Which is weird, man. Like, usually we don't get comments like these. Such is life. It proves my point. It proves my point from the topic AP put in over the weekend, or I'm sorry, last week about creators. So yeah. At what point would you prune your Amex card collection to go down to one? Um, I don't know if I would go down to one. Um, I don't know if I could go down to one. Um, I could definitely go down to less. Um, I think platinum the platinum would stay. I think one of the Hilton cards would stay as of right now. And I think the Delta cards would stay. So that's 4. I think I could probably handle those 4 and then a few other things. Um, so yeah. I don't know what is going I see what you're saying, Clinton. They are coming from the mobile version, but it shouldn't be that different from our usual. So I'm not entirely sure why all of the sudden we're getting them other than people on mobile are saying we're live. So there's that. Um, this watch right here, I'll take it off. Um, this watch is my Manta Ocean King, which it's beautiful. This is my favorite watch. This is the watch I wear every single day. It is a mechanical movement, rotating bezel, whole thing. I love it. I have a Traska Freediver that I love very much. Um, those are really my 2. I have a Henry Archer that I like that is a GMT. It's an actual traveler GMT, which I really like. So those are the ones that I wear the most. Um, and but I wear this one basically every day. And then I have my Apple Watch that I have on as well, just to be able to track things. But yeah, definitely the Manta gets the most wrist time. Um, yeah, Delta. The thing is, and we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast, is the soft product with airlines tends to be the reason you fly them, like, especially domestically, right? Like, there's not a huge difference in the physical product between Delta, United, American, and then you're getting into, like, JetBlue and stuff. Um, so there's not a ton of differences between those. Um, the soft product and your location is really what makes you want to do one or the other. So for me, location-wise, Delta works, but also you have the soft product, and Delta, from the experiences I've had, Delta has worked really, really well. Um, so we have that. So for me, that has worked out really, really well. I am, let's see here. I have a dive watch too. Hopefully I can dive with it one day. Yeah, that is the thing about being into watches, is you collect watches that you don't necessarily ever have the ability to use. I love dive watches. It's my favorite profile of watch. And yet I don't really go into the ocean ever, but I love me a dive watch. I just like the aesthetic of them. So for me, that works. James in the Discord um, is asking what I'm drinking. I'm drinking Coke Zero. As you can go to the Discord Coke Zero Lounge, and this is the namesake of that. Matt, hi Matt. I desperately miss you tonight, so I appreciate that. And yes, Keith is a moderator right now, Matt, because some people needed to be banned, and I was talking, and Keith was on the ban block. So we are very appreciative to Keith right now. So thank you very much for the $4.99 and the banning of people. So we appreciate that. But yeah, so what else in the world of credit cards do you guys want to talk about? Hello. Rupert, thank you. Keith really is, he has been with us from the very beginning. And Stack Your Points would not be where we are without people like Keith, who are incredibly supportive. So I tip my Coke Zero to you, sir. Um, we'll talk about it offline, Matt. Many bans for, remember that topic about women and creators? It's a lot of that tonight, which is fun. So yeah, how excited am I for the McRib? I don't eat most pork. So there's that. Yeah, I only see one chat, which is the fun part for me. I can't separate the two. So yeah, it's been fun. Another off topic, is your faith in the Packers very high? My faith in the Packers is not very high right now. My faith in the Packers is relatively low. Um, because of because of Matt LaFleur's play calling, which he's apparently giving up. But it's not particularly great. So yeah, I am not particularly thrilled with Matt LaFleur. Um, yeah, it's not a religious thing. My grandfather was a pig farmer, so I grew up around a lot of pigs, and when you grow up around a lot of pigs, you develop certain decide I just decided not to eat pork. I still eat bacon though, because bacon is delicious and I can't help myself. Um, yeah, no, it probably is the vertical stream, Matt. The problem is that I I don't know. I don't know. Uh, we're not doing this again. Recline seat or no recline seat? I realize that perhaps you're the wrong person to ask, given I am in first class. The fun part, so when I pick my seat, because I always pick my seat um early in the process. Basically, I pick my seat when I book my ticket. Um, and I make sure I am not in the first row, so that sort of that very first row on the airplane, where they have the TV on the wall. I don't do that row, so I will be in the row behind. Um, you would be amazed how many people in that first row recline their seats back in first class. I typically do not recline my seat. Not necessarily for the people behind me not to be uncomfortable, just because I usually don't need to. I usually am either just sleeping with my head tilted back, or I'm awake on my laptop or phone or doing something. So, typically just don't need to. Did you see the Venture X getting refreshed? I assume when the lounge access for the AU and guest gets off. I have heard certain things about that. I have not seen the full extent of what they might do. The Venture X is a really, really hard card to refresh because you're refreshing a card that is 2x everything. And that is really hard to be able to do and maintain the fact that like that is the draw of the card. It's just this is your catch-all. It is 2x everything. And go from there. So yeah, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to figure something out. Bear with me. I don't think I can. Sorry, guys. I'm having a conversation with Matt on the side. I apologize for that. And thank you, Keith. You are truly a gem. John, hello. Uh, thank you for coming in. So the Venture, I have a complicated relationship with the Venture X. I have held the Venture X. My problem with the Venture X is that exactly what Double just said is that there are 3 cards. So the Venture 1 is 1.25, which is also weird. The Venture and the Venture X are both, yes, Keith, it is okay that you are enjoying this. Honestly, if you want to be a mod for all of our streams and just ban people, I'm okay with it. It's fine. So anyway, Venture and Venture X are basically the same cards without the travel component. Venture 1 is 1.25, which is weird. Like, just make it 1.5. It's fine. The Venture basically doesn't have the $300 travel credit, which is why it's less. It's a great card if you just want a 2x card and you use one of their partners. So that's the thing, is like you have Travel Eraser, which can be somewhat useful. You can use their cards, but it's not a huge draw in. So I don't know. I am conflicted. If Capital One had a transfer partner that I used a lot, I would have kept my Venture X because that really was a great card. It was my personal 2x card. I don't have a personal 2x at the moment, which slightly bugs me. I am thinking of when I am up for my year, moving my saver to a Smartly, just because I get the free checking and then I can cash out the money instead of just doing it as a statement credit, which would be weird, but I don't know. I've got a long time before I have to think of that. And yes, double, thank you for the $2 and definitely thanks, Keith. I kind of miss the Venture X, but then I don't use any Capital One partner, and then I was just using it for Travel Eraser, and I rather get points in another ecosystem. So it becomes this thing of like, I don't know what to do. Like Bill, if you had the CSR for 3x, that'd be great. If you were in, Amex at all, at least you would have the option of the green card, right? Like there are a lot of 3x travel cards. They might not all be for you. The Wells Autograph is another one. The green is one. There's a lot of options for 3x travel cards. There are not a lot of options for specific niches. So it really is going to depend on like what you want off the CSR. That's the problem. Venture X is a great card. I just wish it was more premium. I think the problem is the Venture X 5 years ago or 3 years ago was a really great position in the market, both in price point, in feature set, in everything else. And then it became a system where the platinum ticked up and the CSR ticked up, and Citi has their card now, and Wells Fargo may or may not have their card. So we get to a place where we're not entirely sure what it's going to be. Like how do you make this would be an interesting question for you all in the chat. How would you actually make the Venture X quote premium? If you're going to make if you're going to take the Venture one, the Venture X, the Venture one, the Venture and the Venture X and make them 3 separate cards. How would you do that? Like, genuinely, how do you make those 3 separate they actually feel like distinct cards in the same family because they all have the Venture logo or label. How would you do that? Like, do you take the 2X off of either the Venture or the Venture X? Like, how do you make those different cards? How does Capital One sort of have a full suite of cards that is not just simply get a Venture X and get a Saver? Like, how do they do that? I don't know. Like, we've talked about it a little bit on the podcast. Matt and I have talked about it off of the podcast. I'm not entirely sure how we do that. I'm not entirely sure. Like, the thing with transfer partners is it's really, really hard to get United or AA or Delta. Like, Delta has zero desire to get rid of Amex. So you have this position where Delta is locked up. United is real happy with Chase, at least as far as we know, and AA just signed with Citi. So I don't know who you do domestically except for like JetBlue. Venturex make it the old CSR. I think that might be too much change at once. Maybe, especially because it was a loss leader and Capital One just spent a lot of money buying Discover, and it's going to take a lot of money to upgrade that. Um, Citi is great if AA doesn't value, and you can use AA. Like, Citi is great if you're an AA person or can use AA miles in your particular airport to do particular things. A lot of people can. A lot of people in sort of secondary and regional airports can't. Like, that becomes the thing of like, when you get into points and miles, people say, well, if you do, X, Y, and Z, you can do that. And that's great, but it doesn't apply to every airport. And that can really be the problem. I already have Clear with Aspire, so it hurts me for the green card credits. I do think when they refresh it, it'll probably get Resi, which may or may not help. I think Amex is going more towards quarterly credits with some of their cards instead of monthly. We'll see. Like, the entertainment credit on the Platinum doesn't bother me at all because it's set and forget. You don't have to do anything with it. You just have the charge come to the card. I'd be fine with something nice like that on the green or a dining credit. Hot take. I don't think the Venture X needs to be remade. Yes, I agree with that, but there's no other mid-tier card like it, and you have to put something above it. So in order to the Venture can become what the Venture X is currently, the Venture X needs to become something else. Copy the Amex rate for the Venture. Like, that would be the easy option for them, right? Like, you have dining, you have travel, and you have transit. Nice and simple. Have both the Venture X and the Venture, and you're covered for a lot of things, especially if you throw in the Saver. And then you can have an actual trifecta. So maybe increase Venture X, launch some lounge guessing. I don't know. I do wonder, like, as much as people talk about the lounges, I wonder what percentage of people actually use the lounges as much as people think they use the lounges. Like, if you had guest passes on your lounge, but you never use guest passes, but the idea of maybe one day I will use guest passes is the reason you had that card, like, are you actually losing something? So I don't have the data on that, but I would love to. Perhaps Capital One is keeping them similar on purpose to try to move customers up the ladder. That is possible. The middle card, the Venture was a MasterCard for a long time. I believe it was the Venture was a MasterCard for a long time, so it blocked people. I can't get a Venture X anymore because I can't get pre-approved for Venture X because I've had one before. So I was not. I don't need Capital One for anything. It the only thing about Capital One I like is the offers, and I can't really use their points, so it doesn't do a whole lot for me. 4x dining and flights, 2x all travel, 95. I would love a card to come out with mobile wallet. Like if I wish the Platinum had done 2x mobile wallet because I would have been so happy with that. The Saver is a great card, yes. Capital One should open Capital One cafes as well. Capital One cafes, I do think are great. I also agree that the problem right now is that the economy is tightening, and as the economy tightens, they're not going to want to put out the expenditures. Any evaluation? I don't think there's going to be I don't think it's anything else is going to happen for this year. I don't think the green is going to get refreshed in December. Um, I think that the personal green, I am 90% sure in 2026 is going to see a refresh. I don't think American Express remembers that the business green exists. I do not think that they remember that card exists. So I don't think that they are thinking about updating it, to be quite frank. Um, so I think that's part of the problem, right? Is if they don't really care about the card and the business green really nobody cares about, it's a card you downgrade your platinum to get a offer again. Um, Nobody cares. 9 times out of 10 when I praise United, I get them. And where you are, that very well could be true. Um, I very rarely use actual points for flights for myself. I usually will pay cash for flights unless I have a massive point bank. Um, but points usually go elsewhere. The issue with the CSR, didn't he change? Yeah. No, I fully believe that if they had done an intermediary step, like if this refresh had been something where they had gone from what the CSR was to a half step, kept the 3x on travel, done a couple of other things with it, they would have been okay. I think the problem is that they tried to go from the product is X to the product is Y. Um, and that to me is the hard thing is they tried to just do too much at once. If they had half stepped it, I think people would have like raised an eyebrow, but been more or less okay. And then they could have done another refresh in 2 years or 3 years, done the full thing. Um, it varies by airport, it varies by where you're going. If airport, like if like New York City to DC is a huge, like they fill that flight a bunch of times a day, redemption's gonna be different. Um, so that's what it is. Capital One shopping is a great alternative. Um, Capital One shopping is a great alternative just to use your cards. Like you don't have to use gift cards for that. I was using it quite a lot when I still had my Venture X. Um, so there's that. 2 weeks ago is in a priority. Like priority pass outside of the US is apparently very good. So there's that. MLS switching. Oh, that's gonna be great when you're in New Jersey playing soccer. Um, that's super fun. I'm sure everybody from New Jersey is super thrilled about that. Hypothetically, decide to do American domestic. What product are you interested in flying? I don't know. Like I am so like I like certain things, but I'm not gonna pay for the like $5,000 seat to fly from like New York to Denver or whatever. So I wouldn't pay for those super front of bus anyway, and I probably wouldn't overly care about um being able to get points redemptions for them. Um, I would like the crazy like Saudi Airlines with like basically you get a hotel suite like are cool. I don't know if I would want to do them. Like I get why people do. I don't. Any insight from the elevated offers? I think they desperately want signups before 2026. I think they want to close 2025 with as many signups as they can get, and then from there be able to launch everything. So I think it's primarily how many signups they get in 2025 is what they're looking to do. And then from there, we'll see how it goes. They just finished the Discover thing. They've got to figure out what to do with Discover. I'm sure the people, the powers that be, want strong finishes. So there's that. The 10K spend requirement. So here's the thing with subs, right? There are people who can, like, there's Filmo, right? His credit profile is so thick and so robust at this point that he can get multiple subs, right? He can do that. I think that a lot of people into credit cards either don't have as long of a history, they don't have the ability, they don't have necessarily like a mortgage or a credit score that can support getting sub after sub after sub. Like, yeah, if you can get Amex no lifetime languages, stuff like that, um, then yeah, you can do a lot of things, right? Like that's very helpful. This is insane. Unless you were actual Jennifer Gardner, this is insane. But I understand, like, you can get multiple subs. You can absolutely get multiple subs. If for whatever reason Capital One has that unique mix of subs you want, I get why it might be attractive to people. Also, the credit card community likes the bright, shiny, like, right in front of their face. Like, that's all they want is the bright and shiny thing in front of their face. Um, so there's that. Apparently CSR will do, I've heard that. Let me go to Chase and see what it looks like right now. I won't actually be able to do anything, but let me see what it says publicly, at least. So the one I'm seeing is 125 on 6,000 in 3 months. Let's see, in branch starting Sunday. Don't give your link away if they give you a link, or bad things will happen. Yeah, the CSR offers in branch. Though, so was the city offer, and then links went out and all hell broke loose. Um, so it really is going to depend. Only reason, yeah. Um, so it becomes this thing of like, multiple subs can be great if they're like, there's nothing out there I want right now. Like, I can use Rakuten to get MR points. I don't need Hilton. My MR points, if I need them, will go towards Delta, though I have a bunch coming because of flights in the next few months. I don't really need a sub right now. Like if they offered me, you know, if American Express was like, here's an offer, you get, 100,000 MR points, you got to spend, 6,000 in 6 months, I'd probably do it, but I don't need anything right now. So I'm also trying to kind of garden. It's weird. I don't like it, but there's nothing out there that I really want. So it's, that thing. So for me, there's not a whole lot as far as like gardening or not. Like I just don't have anything I want. Um, so there's that. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? I am open to suggestions. Let's see. Let's go to, let's see what we got here. Multitasking, guys. I apologize. I am somebody who is used to producing as we're working. I'm just seeing if there's anything in the news. Keith, you and I have differing opinions on Hilton. I am still using them. I am more or less fine with them. I understand why you're not, but sorry, Double. I apologize for skipping your question. I am dealing with all of the things. I know this may be a Matt question, but do you think Wells Fargo? I think that Wells Fargo is going to have to do something next year. I think they're going to have to put out the Beyond. They're going to have to do something, right? They don't have bad transfer partners. They just don't have a lot of them. And I think that is part of what the problem is people see their transfer partners and get, people get annoyed at the transfer partners. I get it. It's a great cashback system. On how long it will take? I'm hoping before the beginning of December because that's when I will be on a plane. I think it's going to take a little while. I think people are, having to deal with different things. Thankfully, I'm hoping sooner rather than later, but people also don't have the common sense they used to anymore. So people aren't handling flying the way that they probably should. Is Jordan Love is nerve-wracking? So Brett Favre was more nerve-wracking, but typically I trust the play calling more. Matt LaFleur's play calling bothers me. Capital One let loose 3 dummy transfer partners. Oh, that's fun. One day Matt will be correct. I think he's been saying the same thing for Wells for 2+ years. Yeah, fair. How's your Rakuten card? I love it. It's very handy when you see something at 2x and you're like, but I need the thing. And you're like, oh, I get 6x on this because 2x from the regular Rakuten and then 4x from the card. I got a 19x thing today. I needed some things, so I got 19x. It was great. So it's a nice little boost. So we'll see. I'm hoping hopefully by Thanksgiving like week is the busiest travel week in the US. So I'm hoping. Any thoughts on the supposed B of A? I feel like, yeah, nobody wants them to change anything. Bank of America is still in the business of making money. They still want to make money. So they're going to change things if they have to be able to make money. I think they're going to probably up things a little bit to make it a little bit harder to get to each level. And if you're right on the cusp, it could absolutely change how you do things. But I do think things are going to change as far as the level. Yeah, I can understand if you give it 2 or 4, so you have it going out and back. We don't know. So they mentioned changes on, I think it was the investor call, and then that's all we've heard. So we have no idea. Yeah, the green, I think if you did 2 or 4 lounge visits, and then honestly, I think that would be good. I have so many cards with lounge visits that I don't need it, but for the average person, that could be a huge difference. I will say, I did so some of it was travel rewards, some of it was just they're gonna make changes. Like some of it was just changes are coming. So we do not know what Bank of America is doing. We talked about it a little bit on news on the podcast. There really isn't anything. I made a spreadsheet of my credit cards, all of my I'm not going to show it, but I made a credit card of all of the cards I have that have credits that I use. The annual fee ones I didn't do because I don't care. But the ones with fees, I did. And I make out, let's see. I make out really well. Right now I'm over $700 over the new annual fee on my platinum card. So I've used approximately $1,593.26 of quote value off of the platinum with all of the different credits. So I have I've done math, and in fact, the platinum is worth it for me. So that's always exciting. Obligatory Rove mentioned, I don't have a good reason to try Rove. Um, I in comments, subscribers only. They're thankfully kind of slowing down, so I'm hoping that they have mostly moved away. Um, that's at least the hope. Um, anyway, for Rove, I have not tried it because I don't have a reason to try it. I have Delta when I'm working on status for Delta. Delta Portal is my primary booking if they have MQD boost. Um, and then I use the Amex Portal, which the Amex travel app is actually pretty good. I am very happy with that. But I don't really have a reason to use Rove. I don't want to get into another system. I don't have any I don't have any desire to get into another system. So I don't really want to get into Rove when I have other systems that I'm in. I book direct most of the time with Hilton and IHG. So for me, I just don't have a huge issue. I have used Belroy before. They're very nice. Um, I have an Alpaca wallet right now, which I really like. It's just a slim card wallet. I quite like it. Um, so I like those. Leather wallets are always great. I have used oh God, I can't think of it. Um, I'll find the link for it. There's some leather wallets that I've used that are really nice. Um, it depends on your style. I don't carry a lot of cash, so I just have like a folded slip I can slip cash into. Um, so for me, I sort of I like mine is oh God, now I can't think of the material name. X-Pack. My wallet is X-Pack, so it is basically indestructible. I love it. You can book hotels on Rove with you can. I just don't want to get into another ecosystem. I am very happy to be in the ecosystem. I want yeah, we're not going to be doing that again. Double. So yeah. I see. I have not done a Delta to United status match because I believe I would have to also fly United. I think you can status match and then like you have 3 months to fly. Let's find out. Status match between Delta and United. I looked it up once, but I haven't done a ton of looking up just because I don't have a desire to. Let's see here. So if you have Delta Silver, you can status match to United Silver. It basically it is 1-to-1. So silver, gold, platinum, and then whatever. Let's see. I'm seeing. So you've got to have an email, you've got to have a mileage plus X number, a copy of your member card. I'm trying to see. I thought there was a fly requirement, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll have platinum next year, so I might try to status check just to see. I have not done it though. I don't fly other airlines besides Delta, so I've just never had a reason to. As a kid, what was a TV show? I I don't think I was embarrassed as a kid to watch anything. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be embarrassed, so I just watched whatever. Need to switch to Apple. Yes. Yes, you do, Double. Yes. Yes, you do. You end up hitting platinum with Delta. I did. I did hit platinum with Delta, or let me rephrase that. After Hawaii, I will have hit platinum. So everything is pending. I just have to wait for Hawaii for it to officially go through. Um, hold on one second. So yeah, so I did hit platinum, so I'll have platinum for 2026. and then I'll see if I wanna go for like, I'll see if what I get with platinum, I wanna go for platinum next year or just gold. So we'll see. Oh, Shaka, that is a very, very long question. I carry a backpack. I carry an Air CityPack Pro 2, that is full. So I have just about anything you could want in there. I have a small med kit. I have a kit with like Kleenex and Advil and Tylenol and all of that, Tums. Um, I have a tech kit. I have a little dop kit. I have all of the things. So when I leave my house, I have either an iPad Pro or my laptop. I have the all of the tech in the world, and I have enough change of clothes that if I get stranded somewhere, I can spend the night. So for me, um, I yeah, I have a lot of EDC gear. Um, Hide and seek is great. I have had that before. The slim sleeve was also very nice. I've had that one too. Uh, yeah, no, the Delta portal has been really good. Um, I get a 200 and a $250 one to use for Delta stays. So I just make sure that when I'm doing it, it lines up with the MQD boost and it's even better. Yeah, there we go. Um, so I like to travel. I live in a relatively remote area because I'm in the Northeast, but I'm not in New York City or Boston. So if I want to go anywhere, I kind of have to travel to do it. I realized that if I was going to spend cash anyway, if I was going to spend money on things anyway, I might as well get something I can use in the way I want to use it. Um, so yeah, so it became this thing where I started in some credit cards probably about 10 years ago. Um, and then life just life. I literally used the Apple Card and just the Apple Card for like 3 years. Um, did not use it nearly as well to its capabilities, and then I started getting back into it probably 3 to 4 years ago. So yeah, it's I knew if I was gonna spend money, I wanted to get something for my money, is basically how I got into it. How are you liking Hilton? I have gone to a Hampton Inn since I've gotten Hilton status, so it didn't do a whole lot for me there. So far, I like it as much as you can like anything that you're not actively using. Um, I plan to do a lot more Hiltoning in 2026, where I will sort of test it out. I will probably go for the Aspire. Um, I don't know if I'm going to keep 2 Hilton cards. I may get rid of either the business or upgrade the Surpass. We'll see. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I'm liking it as much as I can like it. Ooh, that is tough. RJ, you could crush it using so I can't. I have tried to go through Flying Blue's program for Delta, and my airport is not conducive to that. Um, so yeah, it I have tried. Now I have to use my certs before. I have to use one in March and one in July, I think. I'm definitely using one in March and then the July one I'll figure out. What Apple products going from Intel to M1 was legitimately very, very good. Um, Going from the first generation of um of AirPods with just the solid plastic that you jammed in your ear to the tips was really, really cool. Um, that that seal, that actual noise cancellation was really, really cool. Give me one second, guys. So that was great. Um, it allowed me to I have 2 sets of AirPods. I have an AirPod Pro 2 and an AirPod Pro 3. I think those are the right generations. Um, I I always have AirPods either in my pocket or physically on me. Um, so yeah, those were pretty great. I love these. I can't wait until they can fold and turn off. Those are really the only 2 things I would change. The weight doesn't bother me. The solid metal versus plastic doesn't bother me. It drives me crazy they can't fold and can't turn off. Do most of your points go to Delta? Probably. Um, this year was a little bit different because we did Hawaii, or we booked Hawaii. Haven't done it yet. So they will in any given year, typically they go to Delta. Um, occasionally they go to Hilton when I'm trying to top something up and I need 12,000 points to do this, so I'll move 6. Usually Hilton's a top, Delta's an actual redemption. So yeah. So we're just at about an hour, guys. Um, thank you. It's coming up in the next month or so. So yeah. Chase is doing there is nothing I really, really want, and I don't have chase points. But if you have chase points, if you are like Keith and have chase points for Apple products, you should do it. I do not have chase points. I don't have a card that I can get chase points on. I only have the OG Freedom. Um, I could always go to a preferred. If they ever do 3x on the preferred, I might go back to it just for fun, but I don't really have a reason to go to a annual fee chase card. I thought about going to the CSR for just a second, just to be like, I should try this out and use all of the portals. And then I realized that was a terrible idea for the annual fee. So, but like I said, guys, we're at just about an hour doing this solo. So, is your main? So, kind of. Um, for my non Amex setup, if I were to just grab a card out of my wallet that is not American Express, there are really 3 options. The IHG, if it's a big purchase, it's gonna go on the IHG. If it's Walmart or Amazon, it goes on my shopper, my US Bank Shoppers Cash, and I have the Cash Plus that has my streaming on it, like my YouTube TV and it will have my phone next quarter. I didn't set it right, so it doesn't have my phone bill right now. Those 2, the Shoppers Cash and the Cash Plus, are sort of my cards I grab. The Shoppers Cash is actually 1.5% cash back on everything else, so I can always grab that one if I need to. But if I'm gonna do a bigger purchase, the IHG card has a much higher limit, so I would just go with that. What is the I don't maybe Avengers, like, it's been a minute. I have not gone to a theater to watch a movie in probably a decade. I don't I don't need to be in a theater with other people to watch a movie. I like watching it at home. Yeah, I understand that, Keith. I F1 the movie. I can see that. Um, I I have conflicting feelings, but the problem is there's not an alternative I could live with in terms of like actual product. So I cannot buy. There's no reason for me to buy anything. My laptops are I wish went for more storage in my 13-inch Air, but I'm okay. Um, but for me, like, um, I don't need to upgrade everything. Unless they came out with new AirPods Max, there's nothing I'm looking to upgrade. Matt is on assignment, so he may or may not be in. It depends on if he's back before I end the podcast or end the live. Yes, they do that. It depends on if you want to upgrade. I really like the reserves. They're very handy little things. I don't always if I went to the platinum, I wouldn't use the companion pass. So I'd be paying $700 for silver. I don't know if I want to pay for silver and not actually use the cards. So that's why I have the reserves, because I will use the companion passes. That does look like it might be good. There are so few movies I want to be in a theater to see versus just wait until I can get them for streaming. Like, that's my problem. So, yeah, but we are 9 seconds away from an hour. Sure. Thanks, Nick. What chip? Uh, I have a Mac. So my Macs have a M4, just a vanilla M4 or oh, my Air. Thank you. I was very confused for a second. My Air has the M4. It's the last generation. So I have the M4. I have the base model. Honestly, if I had gone for 512 for storage, I would probably never get rid of it. The only thing that makes me itch a little bit is the lack of storage. Yeah, Filmo, you and I agree here. You and I actually agree on a lot of things, Filmo. If I had your credit profile, I probably would be more interested in churning. I just don't. So yeah. So, all right, guys, we have hit an hour. I don't have anything left on my itinerary to talk about. Matt is not back yet. So I am going to call it for this evening. We have hit an hour. So every Stack Your Live has gone at least 1 hour. We have toppled that. I can't say goodbye, Matt, because I am not, in fact, Matt, but I will say good night to all of you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.